Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Purple and a Rose Love and Astrology Night. Tonight, I am going to be talking about Gemini New Moon. I'm going to read for the collective, and I will offer some free and paid mini readings at the end. Guys, please remember we are multi streaming, so I'm on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time. I definitely forgot my mic, so I hope that the sound is okay. I see Sandra has come in already. Welcome, Sandra. Sherry comes in. Ladies, let me know. We have sound. Everything looks okay. So that is my view of almost sunset here at the lake, guys. It got too dark and I wasn't able to keep a live video, so I decided to record something really quickly so you guys could see my view. I'm totally going to read Love and Astrology tonight from my car. I heard this saying earlier today that said, sometimes we repeat things, that God has us repeat things so that we can do them better the second time. So I'm really hoping that's true. But beautiful view of the sunset for sure. And I got to, I don't know, spend some quality time with myself out here. Um, Went over my notes to make sure I was ready for Gemini New Moon. I got here about an hour early because I really was hoping to catch that sunset. But yeah, so that's what it looked like when I got here. Pretty cool, right? All right, let me get to our actual video of stuff. And we'll start talking Gemini New Moon while everybody is coming in. I didn't see any ads at the beginning, so that's always good, right? All right, guys. So Gemini New Moon is actually going to come in on May 27th. Remember, I'm always a week ahead. So if you're looking for what's happening this week, that's always posted on my YouTube channel under the live tab. But we're always a week ahead so that we can get in front of the energy, right? So Gemini New Moon, May 27th. This is really potent time for mental renewal type of energy. Remember, Gemini controls and rules over the mind. So communication, curiosity at this time is going to peak with Gemini New Moon. It is ruled by Mercury, guys. So Mercury also being in Gemini is going to make this extra potent new moon. And I made a joke the other day to a friend of mine. It might have been my daughter-in-law. I said, I think that the Gemini New Moon is probably going to be one of the um, better astrological aspects. It's one of the I didn't mean to click on that. I'm sorry. One of the, I guess, easier transits that's happening in 2025. Hi, Sherry. I'm over here hitting buttons, guys. So with all of this energy of the mind, it's really going to be a moment for us to make sure we're setting intentions with this new moon around everything, but especially with learning and self-expression and balancing your logic with your intuition. We're really going to talk about that this week, guys. How many of you feel like you struggle to hear your guidance or you struggle to hear spirit's guidance? That's going to be key this week. And I think that is going to be the biggest blessing that the Gemini new moon is bringing in for everybody. Again, whether you're awake or not, we all feel the effects of these planetary movements, right? So here's what I'm going to say. During the new moon, it's going to invite us to organize our thoughts. And we really need to prioritize mental clarity at this time. You really want to embrace curiosity while avoiding overwhelming, like don't overdo, right? Communicate authentically. That's really going to be important. You're bridging ideas and relationships. I will put a word of caution here. If you know me, you know, right? Prepare for those said bridges to fully burn when authenticity isn't brought into the relationship. That is what's going to happen. So just prepare for that. And that's not necessarily Gemini New Moon, that's more Saturn and Aries, right? We've been talking a lot about Saturn and Aries because that Saturn and Aries energy is bringing a lot of that self-discipline that we're all, at this point, I feel like we're craving it. Are you guys craving self-discipline? I feel like that's it. So this week with the Gemini New Moon, and of course Saturn and Aries at the same, they're happening on the same time, guys, May 27th. So with both of these energies, I think it's really going to get to where those of you that feel like you struggle to hear your spiritual guidance, it comes in a lot clearer. It comes in a lot clearer. I told someone the other day that I hear mine so clearly at this point in my awakening, that I have went against the guidance. We have free will, right? Like we can do whatever we want. And so I've definitely used my free will several times, but I'm at this point in my journey, this surrendering point where the guidance never led me astray. It was only my own ego that led me astray, right? And so at this point in my journey, I feel like I'm just completely surrendered and I'm just following my spiritual guidance at this point. So if you guys feel like that's something you want in your life, right? There is a way to do this. I get so, I don't know, like spirit tells me sometimes there is something special and sometimes there's not. I don't know. I want to tell people that we all have these abilities, right? Like I was a regular person. My name was Rosa. I lived in this little town in Kentucky and this thing happened to me, this spiritual awakening, right? And I promise you, I worked in gas stations all my life. I've cleaned hotel rooms. I've babysat. I've worked in restaurants. I had 3 kids. I didn't finish college. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like I was a regular, normal person, and then all of this happened, and I didn't really listen to my intuition. I didn't really trust my gut. I didn't really have any type of spiritual guidance whatsoever before my spiritual awakening. I did. I could, talk to the other side from a very, very young age, but I really didn't have like the skills that I do now. I didn't have like the fine tuning, I guess, that spirit has given me in the last, however many years I've been on this awakening. It really started in 2015. I really didn't know what was happening till like 2017, right? But from that time, the guidance has gotten stronger and stronger and stronger. I heard somebody describe it the other day in one of the best ways I've ever heard. You know, people say, "Well, what does the guidance sound like, Rosa? What does it sound like?" I mean, it's literally communication, but it's not a voice like you hear on the outside. Like you hear my voice talking to you right now, right? So it's not like that. It's an inner voice. It's internal, right? And I feel like a lot of us are struggling to be able to hear our internal guidance for a couple of different reasons. One is going to be that free will, right? We want to do what we want to do. And two, we don't know when to quiet the mind, right? Like we don't know. It's almost like we want to pray and talk and ask for all these things and say all this stuff. We want to talk, but we don't want to just be still and listen, right? So I think those two things are really what's going to be key. So now I want to talk to you about mental burnout and soul alignment because this is also happening all at the same time, again, with this Gemini new moon. So Gemini energy is very fast paced. And that's what's actually leading to our burnout. And this could be, I mean, I know I said mental burnout because Gemini does rule the mind, but many of us are actually experiencing physical burnout. See, it starts with the mental burnout. That's not true. It starts with the emotional burnout, right? And then you move into the mental burnout, and then you move into the physical burnout. And what I mean by that is if you don't pay attention to your emotions, like how you're feeling about something, and you try to ignore how you feel about something, it's going to start to mess with your mind, right? And then before you know it, now it's that type. Now your mind is overloaded. You're thinking about this so much, right? Because you're not doing anything to change it or not doing anything about it. And then all of a sudden it turns into physical ailments like sicknesses and colds and all these different, types of things, right? Where now you're in what I like to call forced realignment. It's like where God sits you down and makes you like look at where you've come, like how far you come and where you need to be to go where you're headed, right? So I feel like this is really a strong energy with this particular new moon. And I really haven't heard a lot of people talk about that. So again, I'm thankful for spirit and my guidance. And guys, if you're wondering, like PLR is everything is guided. Every single thing I do for PLR, down to my thumbnails, down to the music I play in the shorts, down to the things we talk about, down to every single thing. I promise you, just everything. I want to put my own spin on things at times, and sometimes I feel like I do, but spirit always pulls me back in. Like, let's say I want a thumbnail to look a different way and I want to do a different thing with it. When I'm listening to the guidance, it's going to be a specific thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, spirit said this week we were going to talk about how you guys can't talk to spirit or you can't hear spirit, right? So all of this stuff is guided. Every single thing that I do with PLR, right? So here is going to be some advice, practical steps that you could take for mental burnout. I want to talk about real quick the symptoms. You could be feeling exhaustion from the information overload, right? Indecision, overcommitting, right? That could be happening to a lot of you right now. So to counter this, you're going to slow down. It's that simple. You're going to slow down and you're going to practice mindfulness. And you're going to practice mindfulness to a quiet mental chatter. You also want to align with your soul, right? This is what I call soul alignment. When we don't do this, we have what I call forced alignment. So you want to create space for stillness. Meditation and journaling is going to be perfect for this. This is how you're going to hear the spiritual guidance. This is the trick, the big secret. You can't hear spirit if you're too busy talking. Does that make sense? All right, so also releasing perfectionism is going to be important with this full moon. Trust your intuition over analysis. The first thing you hear, whether you like the answer or not, right? And honestly, let's be honest about this. If it's coming from spirit, it's going to scare you. It's going to give you a little bit of a jolt, right? It's usually something we don't want to do. We're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go tell the whole world how I had this spiritual awakening and all this weird shit's happening to me, right? So it's going to be something like that. When it's your ego, it's going to be something that makes life easier for you, right? So spirit makes things more challenging, pulls you out of your comfort zone, and your ego wants you to stay where you're comfortable. So remember, trust your intuition. That very first thought that comes to you, that's going to be spirit. Anything that comes after that is going to contradict that information, and that's going to be your ego. I hope that was helpful. All right, so I do want to say that luckily this new moon does support soul alignment. It is going to help us discern between those ego-driven thoughts and our spiritual guidance and our inner wisdom, right? So surrender the need to figure everything out. Listen to the subtle changes from your higher self, and it's going to be guiding you towards something new. Keep that in mind as well. Remember, Gemini New Moon. All right, so here's how this moon can help. First, it's going to give us a mental reset. How many of you guys feel like you're ready for a mental reset? I know I am. But its energy will help release outdated beliefs and adopt healthier thought patterns. And also, it's going to help us enhance our communication. So, the Gemini New Moon will repair misunderstandings or help you share innovative ideas. And most importantly, spiritual downloads. Gemini's air element carries messages. That's the whole point of Gemini, right? Communication. So stay open to the synchronicities. They're going to be everywhere, guys, even more than normal. All right, so here we go. Here's the biggest challenges. Are you guys ready? Overstimulation. That's going to happen. Gemini full moon. Too many ideas, social demands leading you to exhaustion. Keep an eye out for that. Indecision. You could experience paralysis from overanalyzing your options. Keep an eye out for that. And of course, miscommunication. Gosh, this happens to me all the time. I feel like I'm sick of texting. Like I am totally sick of texting. If we can't have like a conversation face to face, like when it's something serious, you know what I mean? Then it's like I don't even want to text because I don't know about you guys, but it's like sometimes I feel like I don't get people's tone right through their text, and I feel like sometimes they don't get my tone right through text. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's definitely watch out for miscommunication, especially through like texting and email and that type of thing. All right, let's talk about the best part, right? This is going to be the biggest rewards that the new moon is bringing, again, all of us, because it doesn't matter whether you understand astrology, whether you believe in the astrology. Guys, these are big planets up there. They're spinning. They make an energy, right? And that energy impacts all of us down here on this planet Earth that we're on, right? Regardless of whether you believe that, understand it, it's already been scientifically proven. There's no need to go into all that. So here it is. Ready? mental breakthroughs. You could get clarity on lingering problems, things that have been driving you nuts and you can't figure out. Get ready for like doors to open, right? Creative inspiration, new ideas and collaborations will happen with Gemini New Moon, and stronger connections. Honest conversations that will deepen your relationships. All right, so here's some practical steps for the collective. Digital detox, limit your screen time to reduce mental clutter. So it was funny, I got here, right? And I was like, I'm going to set up and I'm going to get everything ready, right? And I was ready like probably 30 minutes early. And I was sitting here, and normally that's when I start to cleanse and I get my Palo Santo out, which I did remember my Palo Santo, thank goodness. And I start to do this stuff. And when I got done, I was like, I'm going to, check my phone real quick before I put it up on the mount so I don't have to hold it. And I opened up my Facebook and I started scrolling on Facebook. And then I opened my TikTok and I started opening up my, scrolling through my TikTok, and I heard it right away. Spirit's telling me, like, Rosa, we're fixing to tell everybody about how we need to clear the mind. And here you are sitting at this beautiful lake with 30 minutes to spare, and all you can do is get on your TikTok, right? So clearly had to shut that stuff down. And then I just sat here and just, had a conversation with Spirit. So digital detox is going to be really, really important. Do some journal prompts, guys. Examples could be like, what thoughts no longer serve you? How can you communicate more authentically? And guys, don't forget to check out my new Twin Flame Shadow Work Journal. It's exclusively over on my PLR website, and it is an instant download. I'm actually working on the hardcover copy right now. I'm super excited about that. I'll have it over on Amazon with my other PLR journals really, really soon. Links will always be in the description box of my YouTube videos. All right, another practical step is going to be meditate with citrine and clear quartz. So these are very specific crystals, citrine and clear quartz. This is going to help you enhance your focus and clarity. Guys, I think, should I say anything? Yeah, I'm going to say it. Accountability, right, Sandra? I think we're about to make some candles. I think me and Sandra are about to go in together and make some intentional, I don't want to say spell candles, but I mean, that's kind of what it is, right? And then I'm going to share them with all of you guys. I'm kind of excited about it. But so clear quartz citrine, going to be important. All right, last thing I have is going to be set your intentions. Guys, that's any new moon. Any new moon, you want to set your intentions. And what do I mean by that? What do you want? Be clear. Be specific. Think big. Stop limiting yourself. Stop believing that you have to go without and you have to live this life of struggle. All of that is BS. And the only reason that we live that life is because we keep repeating karmic cycles. The moment we surrender and listen to Spirit's guidance, that shit stops, like instantly. You know what I mean? I mean, from the moment every single time that I go do something that Spirit doesn't want me to do, it's almost instant how just the challenges I face. I mean, in all areas of my life, all areas. And it's like the moment I come into realignment, ching, everything clears out and I'm back on my path and exactly where I was when I left it in the first place. You see what I mean? So it's like, it's definitely a thing where we just keep repeating that stuff. And that's why we're healing, right? So that we can start to create the life that we want and stop repeating the same old shit, right? All right, let's break it down. Tonight I did the list for sun, moon, and rising. I'm going to say start with your rising. All right, start with your rising. So here we go. I'm going to break it down for each zodiac sign. Gemini New Moon coming in May 27th. All right, so if you're in Aries, sun, moon, or rising, you're going to focus on communication, siblings, or short trips. Set intentions to speak your truth boldly. And I mean boldly. Quit hiding the shit that they did to you and tell the whole world. I know that sounds like, I don't know, mean. It sounds like something I would say, but I promise you that was straight from Spirit. You're going to hear other people give Aries the same advice. The same advice. Speak your truth and speak it boldly, right? If you did Aries dirty and recently, y'all, watch out. Watch out. All right, Taurus. So Taurus, you're going to reassess finances or self-worth. You want to learn a new skill to boost your confidence. Gemini, this is going to be your moon. So if you're a sun, moon, or rising, reinvent yourself, right? This is going to be shed old habits and embrace personal growth. Cancer, if you're a Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising, you're going to release subconscious fears through meditation. Prioritize rest at this time. Leo, collaborate with friends or groups. Share your vision, Leo. Virgo, Gemini New Moon is going to have you setting career goals. Network strategically. Libra, Gemini New Moon is going to have you explore philosophy or travel plans, expand your horizons. Scorpio, my favorite Scorpios, deepen intimacy or heal old wounds. Practice vulnerability. That's going to be so hard for you, Scorpio. Sagittarius, again, sun, moon, or rising, strengthen partnerships, balance freedom and commitment. Capricorn is next. You're going to improve health routines. You're going to organize daily tasks. That's Gemini New Moon. That's what it's going to help Capricorn do. Aquarius, you're going to be, this is about nurturing creativity or romantic relationships. You want to be more playful at this time. Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising, Gemini New Moon is going to have you declutter your home and heal family dynamics. All right, guys, here are my final thoughts. So, Gemini New Moon is going to be a call to harmonize the mind and spirit. So, by grounding curiosity in soul aligned action, we can avoid burnout and harness Gemini's gift of adaptability and connection. Use this energy to speak your truth, learn fearlessly, and trust the wisdom within. All right, that's all I have for Gemini New Moon. I want to remind everyone that Saturn moves into Aries on the same day as the new moon, May 27th. It's all about self-discipline with Saturn. And I will talk a little bit more about Saturn because that energy is gonna come up in all 12 signs. Friday, we're doing a pick a card. We're going to talk about Saturn. Then again, if you're looking for specifically Saturn information, I talked about it on last Sunday's Love and Astrology, so you can go and check it out on my YouTube channel under the Live tab. All right. I also did a Saturn and Neptune transit for 2025. That's under the members only tab. And guys, please remember for PLR, you do have to be in Tier 2, Tribe 2, in order to watch most of our members only videos. All right, so that is all I have. Gemini, let's put the little video and I'll read for the collective. How is the AC? Is it super loud? I think it was Michelle told me one time. She's like, it's like white noise. So I think I'm gonna use the yin yang oracle. I feel like that's perfect for all of the Gemini duality, right? Thank you, Sherry. I hope it's helpful. I hope it's helpful. I know that when I'm listening to the guidance, it tells me everything that's going to happen, like super clear. Good, because I'm about to turn it back up. But it tells me, and like when I'm reading the tarot, it tells me. So I just don't do it, right? And then I go do what I want to do instead, and then I'm like, man, life's hard. You know what I mean? So I don't know, if we just surrender and follow the guidance, like we would hit a lot less road bumps. All right. I'm gonna start masculine energy. Sandra says audio is clear for me. Michelle says, plus I'm deaf. I love it. All right, here we go. Masculine energy gets self-love, creation, and intentions. It did come out in reverse. Feminine energy gets contracts, careers, and commitments. Also comes out in reverse. Action, courage, Jupiter, and beginnings comes out for bridging energy. On the bottom, we have growth in summer. It is summer here. Oh my God, y'all. It's hot. I'm going to clarify with the Light Seers Tarot. All right, so masculine energy clearly having some issue with self-love, knowing when to give to themselves. Creation, maybe struggling to create what they want or the life that they want. Contracts, careers, and commitments coming out for Divine Feminine in reverse is because Divine Feminine is breaking free from karmic ties. There are like soul contracts that are coming to resolutions to they're complete, which just means you've learned your lesson, right? Action, courage, and Jupiter beginnings is the bridging energy. We're all, at least we're all this energy is going to hit us all at different times. For me, right now, I'm there. I'm taking the action. It's taking a lot of courage. I'm definitely at new beginnings, right? And I feel like most of you are probably there, or you're right at the brink of taking the action that you would need to take in order to arrive to that new beginning, right? All right. Sherry says kicking and screaming, right? I know that used to be. That really used to be. But honestly, as each day goes by, my commitment, my dedication, my just pure devotion just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And it's like every test that comes my way, every person that like tries to you know test me or trigger me, it's just more confirmation. It's just making it my I don't know, like my commitment stronger. You know what I mean? All right, let's look at that masculine energy, self-love. The sun comes out, so it's definitely about the self. There could be some, so a lot of times with the sun, you get some immature energy. So there could be like growth that is needed when it comes to self-love and self-care for the masculine. Nine of Swords is here. It talks about anxiety and worry. So it's like there's a lot of anxiousness in the mind of the divine masculine. And then we have the Empress. The anxiousness could be about divine feminine for sure. It could also be about what it is that they're trying to create or what it is that they're trying to manifest. All right, let's look at divine feminine. So the death card comes out again, clear ending, right? Rebirth energy, and it's big confirmation of what I said earlier. The Five of Swords is here, so there is some mental overload. We talked about that at the beginning with Gemini New Moon. I know I've been feeling this. I'm going to pull the next card and then I'll talk about it. King of Pentacles is here, and King of Pentacles says it's our responsibility to heal ourselves, right? That's what we're doing. Okay, so how many of you have ever dated a narcissist? People like to use the word narcissist. It's definitely just a label. But one thing I've learned from my experiences is the mind manipulation. I almost said a bad word. um, the mind games, right? I mean, I know some of you in here have dealt with this, and I know that you know what I'm talking about. And what happens is when you're around these people for long periods of time, I mean, you're constantly trying to figure them out. You're constantly trying to figure out what show, what production they have going on. You know what I'm trying to say? Erica says, I have too many. Girl, me too, me too. And here's how I know that every single person in here has, right? Because we are empaths. Let me change that. Every single person in here that is on this specific type of spiritual awakening journey. Okay. So here's how I know that you've dealt with this energy, because it's going to be your it's the empath. That's the energy that draws the narcissist, right? And when you're having this type of spiritual awakening journey, the lesson is, for me, it was literally just to stop believing the bullshit and to only believe the one that has never let me down. Does that make sense? But as an empath, we feel so much. And here's the thing about a narcissist that nobody talks about. Everybody's like, they're bad people. They're immature. They're childish. They're karmic. They're, all these things, right? And all those things are true. But here's what else we don't talk about. They are hurt people. They are hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. That's a true statement. So we, as empaths, as divine feminine, as healers on this journey, and it doesn't matter whether you're divine feminine or divine masculine, as healers, because that's what we're doing, that's what twin flames do, right? On this specific journey, you're going to be drawn. These energies are going to be drawn to you. They need healing. And here's what I will tell you. Some heal. Some really do heal. My ex is sitting out in Colorado somewhere out in a mountain talking to God on a regular basis. And I promise you, that man, I would have never, if God himself hadn't told me this is happening, I wouldn't believe it. So I know that they can heal, and I know that that's hard to understand. But here's the thing: is it our job to to stay in that energy until it chooses to heal? No, absolutely not. How's the saying go? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? We're just supposed to shine our light. That's all we're supposed to do. We shine our light, we move on, period. I think so many of us have dealt with this energy, and I think so many of us have gotten stuck in this energy and almost like refuse to give up on these people, to the point that it brought us a mental breakdown or threw us back into another dark night of the soul, right? The Five of Swords is the thoughts in the mind. In this picture, I'm using the Light Seer's Tarot. There's crows all around him, and he's literally holding his head with his hand. And the King of Pentacles with the Death card for Divine Feminine says it's your responsibility. It's no one else's. No one's coming to save you. There is no one. Not your twin, not your counterpart, not your friend, not your lover, not your sister, not God. I mean, God does, but not in the way that you want. But I'm just saying, there's no one coming. It's only you. So you have to take responsibility to end the bullshit. You have to get out. You have to leave whatever is trying to play mind games, right? All right, so action, courage, and beginnings is the bridging energy. So remember, we do this so that everybody can see whether you're on this type of journey or not. If you're experiencing this bridging energy, then you're most likely on this very same type of spiritual awakening journey, because the collective learn the bridging energy is the spiritual lesson that we're all learning at the same time, right? So we're all learning to get courage and to take action and to start new, right? New beginnings. Page of Cups comes out. Page of Cups it's a small offer. It is sometimes it has something to do with forgiveness. And I will say it again, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot. It shows this little pig up in the top right of the card, and he's flying in the air. And the whole point is supposed to say that you will believe something will happen when pigs fly, right? Have you guys ever heard that saying? So, Light Seers Tarot, Page of Cups, that's the meaning. It's very possible that some type of apology is coming in, because Eight of Wands comes out as well, which is quick information and sudden changes. And we also have the wheel coming out. That's that Jupiter energy that we actually seen on that card, right? Remember, it said action, courage, Jupiter, and beginnings. And then on the bottom, we have Three of Swords. So this is definitely an alignment. Three of Swords is healing. This is definitely, for some of us, this is forced alignment. For some of you, um, apologies could be on the way. It's bridging, so I'm assuming that means that you'll have to apologize as well. All right. I have all my cards, so I'm picking. All right, let's do the soul's journey. And we'll look at head, heart, and higher self. So when I do this part of the spread, this is where I'm looking at thoughts, feelings, and the current higher self lesson for both divine masculine and divine feminine. So let's start divine masculine first. So we have grief coming out in the headspace. So definitely something happening for divine masculine here in the mind. It says, I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. All right, we have fear in the heart space. I realize that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. It's going to be communication. That's coming from divine feminine. Divine feminine is the one that is there's this, not necessarily a fear because you have spirit, but there is this anxiousness to be standing out there, um, you know, on your own, doing this journey. Surrender comes out for divine masculine. I can release my need to control. That's the higher self lesson for divine masculine. All right, divine feminine in the headspace, we have gratitude. I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents, most definitely. In the heart space, this is giving a message from divine masculine, success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. It's some type of congratulations. It's some type of cheering coming from divine masculine to divine feminine. If you have counterpart energy, I always say that they are your biggest cheerleaders, right? Even in separation. Right? Guilt comes out. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. I love that, especially for divine feminine. I recently broke free from something that I felt kept pulling me back by using things like guilt and shame and remorse. And I broke free from that. I no longer have that guilt and that shame, so that energy can no longer pull me back into that cycle, right? Indecision is on the bottom. It says, I use my intuition in all aspects of life. And that I literally made that statement earlier. Remember when I said that I told my friend that from now on, like I'm only listening to spirit. Every single decision, every single step I gotta go, every place, everywhere I gotta go, everything I gotta do, everything. I'm only gonna listen to spirit's guidance. That first thought that comes to me, that's it. And that's how I've been doing it for the last couple of days. And I'm telling you guys, I definitely recommend it, right? Ooh, I almost had it play 52 card pickup in the car. I got them though. Almost. All right, so I have a little surprise. I'm gonna do a Tree of Life Oracle for guidance, and then we'll go check out those free and paid mini readings. How many of you guys have went and downloaded the new Twin Flame Shadow Work Journal? I know some of you in here have. All right, here's the guidance for the collective. We have the Bark card coming out and the Buds card coming out. All right, so the first card is Bark, and it speaks about protection. Keywords are protection, appearances, superficiality, which is going to be shown with this Gemini New Moon, and nourishment. It also talks about lack of respect, coarseness, threats, and vulnerability. When you draw the Tree of Life Bark card, you are being noticed and have a prominent presence at this time. You're being guided to pay attention to your sense of surroundings and how you project yourself outwardly in your environment. You make an impression and it is powerful. When drawing this card, it's important to be aware of protecting yourself from toxins in the atmosphere, but without being too thin skinned. Sensitivity is a good thing. You are greatly affected by whatever is around you. This heightened sense of intuitive and physical awareness is there to support you, to clue you into your responses to places, people, and things. Notice how you nourish yourself. Is what you eat something that gives you essential nutrients or takes away from your body? Does your skin let you know that you're allowing harshness in? When a person has an allergic reaction, they break out in hives. Is it a signal to get away from something? When people are exposed to things they do not like, they say, it gave me the heebie jeebies, or that person was all over me like a bad rash. Tree of Life Bark card asks you to honor what your instincts tell you. If you feel your space is invaded in any way, or you're having a bad reaction to something, take care to evaluate your situation. It may be negative energy that is being sent your way, and you're picking up on it. So deflect it away without being overly defensive. By knowing your limits and your sensitivities and trusting that. See and feel bark as it surrounds and keeps you safe. It is your foremost layer of protection and will keep you from harm. Without bark, how could a tree survive? Without having a defense system, how can you survive? It's easy to be stripped of vital energy. So, Tree of Life Bark card guides you to acknowledge that you are responsible for yourself and others are responsible for themselves. Like trees, we each have our very own presence. You develop your protective layer on your own. Nobody else can give you that but yourself. Likewise, others cannot expect you to constantly defend them. They have to develop their own boundaries and must learn this themselves. Be safe. Give yourself respect as you respect boundaries of others. Talk about wrapping it all up in one card every single time, right? Every single time. All right, let's look at the buds card. It's on page 27. It's number 8 in the Tree of Life Oracle. Wrong. It's number 7 in the Tree of Life Oracle. New beginnings, no way, right? All right, it says fresh starts, innocence, love of youth, promise, beauty, timely decision, abundance, procrastination, exploration, folly, and conceit, and lack of judgment. You are ravishing as ever just now, youthful, evanescent, and alluring. This is a thrilling time of great abundance. Your eternally budding flower, growing and opening to the unlimited potential that is your true essence. Your story is never over. You are never fully defined. You are constantly changing and reaching toward more awareness and enlightenment. Know that you're a precious flower of life and unique and beautiful. You are at your best. Tree of Life Bud card is telling you to delight in the sheer beauty of you at this time. Let your hair down and dance, laugh, and frolic. Bathe in optimism, seeing the good side of everything. Don't hold back all of your fabulousness. This is the right moment for pure joy. Feel as blessed by your eternal spirit as figure in a Rocco painting. Let even excessive pleasure and beauty sweep you off your feet a little. Another aspect of Tree of Life Buds card is to remember that while you're very attractive to others at this time, shimmering with the thrill of love, it's important to take care. In new relationships and projects, nurse and care for the tender details. Spring buds needs protection, and with good timing, ideas can fully bloom. So interesting, all of these words. One, the protection. If you feel like you're being isolated or like you're being pulled away from old people, groups that don't serve your greater good. You're spending a lot more time on yourself. I heard this message the other day that it's spirit isolating us for protection because all those people are crazy and they don't want to heal themselves, right? So that's why you're being pulled away. How does that make sense, right? It makes sense to me. So that's going to be the collective, guys. I hope that was helpful. All right, let me clean up and then I will jump over to the list. Let me change video back so we can see what we're doing tonight. So guys, I am offering free and paid mini readings. Make sure to get your name on the list with the moderators. If you'd like a paid reading, please let us know right away. Paid readings do jump the line. And I will say that I have been thinking about going to a concert this weekend. So if y'all want to help me go, that'd be super sweet. Brantley Gilbert. Brantley Gilbert is apparently in town. I haven't listened to Brantley Gilbert in quite some time, actually. All right, let's see. Beautiful message to wrap up the collective. Thank you, Michelle. All right, guys. So I am a silly goose, and I did not bring my like a pen and paper. I know, right? Like what? Oh, that's not true. I got one in my purse. Yay! See, Spirit told me that too. Look at that, super nice. All right, let me get the list down. I hope you guys are excited for Gemini New Moon as I am. Like I said earlier, I definitely feel like it's going to be one of the better transits, one of the easier transits, one of the nicer transits that gives us the most benefits and less challenges, right? All right, so Vanessa is going first. Let me click on it so I can see it. All right, let me see if I got it right. I got Vanessa, Sherry, Michelle, Sandra, Erica, and Chrissy. Erica says, I feel the energy will be lighter. Yes, same. So humid, guys. It's like 8:53. I swear it's 90 degrees outside. It's like too much. Too much. All right. Vanessa is first. All right, so the spread we're doing is Gemini New Moon. The first thing I'm looking at is the truth that you need to speak, how to see both sides, and new things that your higher self wants you to try. I will say, guys, like I don't know if you guys read Cassidy Kane's vlog that she puts out weekly. She does hers weekly for Twin Flames. It's called Twin Flame 1111 over on Facebook. I want to say she has her own website and all that stuff, of course. But um, she was talking about the Saturn and Aries transit, and she talked about how, this is like father time, right? Saturn, and it's the planet of discipline. Um, Again, if you're on a specific type of spiritual awakening journey, you're going through forced alignment, right? Like we're all being pulled back to where we were supposed to be. Um, she said a lot of us are grieving because we've had to leave a lot of things behind in order to get back into alignment. And in her article, I read that she made this statement. She said, if you're having trouble releasing someone so that you can move forward on your journey, understand that Saturn and Aries is going to help you finalize that situation. And then she spoke on it like this. She said, understand that in the soul contracts, these people volunteered. She said that. She said, in the soul contract, these people that are falling away so that you can move forward, so that you can have more, so that you can do better, so that you can reach your abundance, volunteered to fall away. That shook me to my core. but definitely makes it easier to release. All right, third thing I'm going to look at is what new thing your higher self wants you to try, because, Gemini New Moon, right? Here, this is yes, being forced to change. All right, Vanessa, let's go ahead and close that list, ladies. Let's go ahead and close that list. I know it's a little short tonight. All right, Vanessa, the truth that you need to speak. Two of Cups comes out. There's something about your partnership, soulmate, romantic relationship. It's the truth that needs to be spoken. Could have something to do with equal effort. Someone's not putting in equal effort. Maybe you're putting in too much, they're taking too much, something like that. All right, how to see both sides. We have 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles is about goals and achievements, things that you want. Is it possible, Vanessa, that you and this other person have different goals? In the last relationship I was just in, that was one of the biggest aha moments, was I realized that we didn't even want the same things out of life, right? So you got to be aligned with somebody that wants the same things, that has the same type of aspirations, motivation, goals, things that they get up every day and work towards, right? So that's going to be there. And the new thing that your higher self wants you to try, ooh, the Hermit comes out. The Hermit comes out. That's sitting with your feelings. That is going to be meditation, sitting with your feelings, listening to spirit. All right, I hope that was helpful. All right, so next is Sherry. Sherry, say hi to me in the comments. Thank you, Vanessa. All right, Sherry. Gemini New Moon, the truth that you need to speak. We have the Death card, death and rebirth. You need to end something. You need to walk away from something. You need to leave it behind. You're not going to get the new beginning until you leave the old thing behind. And you need to say it to somebody. You need to tell somebody that something is over. All right, how to see both sides of the situation. Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is a self-restriction. Both of you could be telling each other that you telling yourselves. You're telling yourself, whoever this is for you, Sherry. You're both telling each other that you can't have something. You're both self-restricting. That may help you see both sides of the situation. All right, new thing that your higher self wants you to try, Sherry, Gemini New Moon. Seven of Cups, make different choices. Seven of Cups, make different choices. Trust your intuition. Trust what you choose. All right, I hope that was helpful. Michelle is next. Michelle, say hi to me in the comments. Being told to go check this out. Okay, I don't know who that is over there on YouTube. We're not doing like asking questions. That's energy exchange. Tonight is Gemini New Moon readings. Thank you, Sherry. All right, Michelle. The truth that you need to speak. The truth that you need to speak. Six of Cups. Ooh, Michelle. Reunion. Oh, Michelle. Goosebumps. I feel it. I sense it. And I feel like you're like me. our journeys are so freaking similar, where we understand now that the reunion periods are a time of like coming together to recharge and reboost and all of these things, right? So that we can go back out there again, yada yada. I'm at this point where I'm seriously asking spirit, do I need that? Do I need that? I don't think I need that. I feel like I'm good. Like I don't think I need that. There's gonna be something about reunion that your truth that you're gonna need to speak. And it may be like me, where you may feel like, I'm good. I don't need to see how far you haven't come. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand. I'm totally good. I mean, it could be the opposite. It could be the opposite. Maybe your person's doing all the things, right? Maybe your counterpart energy is out there, um, coming into alignment, right? And how attractive that would be if that would be the case, right? And then your truth would be that you would want reunion, right? So I mean, that could be the opposite for you. May not be just like mine, but I just feel like something tells me we're probably pretty similar. All right, let's look at how to see both sides. How to see both sides. We have Three of Wands. Three of Wands is actions, steps taken for your future, towards your future. Someone's not, right? Someone's taking the steps, and someone is in. It's not necessarily that anyone's doing anything wrong here. Someone is taking the action and the steps to move forward, and someone is thinking about taking the action and steps to move forward. Because again, I'm using Light Seer's Tarot and the Three of Wands. She's standing out there on this ledge, and she's looking out over the ocean, and she's thinking, right? Like, what actions do I want to take? So someone is thinking, and someone's actually doing. So it doesn't mean, so how do you see both sides? It doesn't mean that just because they haven't done something doesn't mean that the action won't be taken. They're in the process of thinking of what that action is, just like you. It could be the opposite way, but I think you've already taken it. Just like you had to think about it before you took the action, right? All right, so now let's look at the new thing that your higher self wants you to try. The Lovers comes out. No freaking joke, I swear. Have mercy. Um, okay, so I mean, Spirit could be saying try reunion. Maybe it'll be better this time. I don't know. I feel like it's more about Spirit saying you need to choose you, right? Because remember, the Lovers, we always get it so confused, thinking that it's about someone else, but it's not. It's about choosing ourselves, right? Now, it is Gemini energy, Gemini New Moon, and of course, the Lovers is my clue card for the twin flame journey. Girl, I wish you all the luck, all the blessings, all the alignment. If you get there, tell me about it, right? It just doesn't look good for me. Is all I'm gonna say. It just doesn't. All right, next. She says, my peace is my foremost boundary. Sandra says, my power just flickered. It's stormy here. It's coming. I hope it doesn't. It's not too bad. Now I'm hitting all the buttons. I don't mean to. All right, Sandra is next. Erica, Chrissy, and Miha. I hope I said that right. Yeah, it's starting to cool off outside. It's starting to get windy. That's so nice. The breeze. All right, Sandra. The truth that you need to speak. The Hanged Man comes out. Being stuck in your head, afraid of losing something. All right, how to see, it's Pisces energy. How to see both sides. The moon, illusions, emotions, fear. Someone struggling to surrender due to fear. All right, the new thing that your higher self wants you to try, the world card comes out. New opportunities, new doors opening. So anything new at this point. Quit repeating old cycles is what I heard. All right, I hope that was helpful. Sandra says it feels like 100 degrees. It's still pretty humid here, but there's a breeze and I'm loving it. I'm right on the lake too, so it's totally perfect. Mihawk says, I'm waiting. That's good, that's good. All right, Erica is next. Stop hitting all the buttons. Erica, say hi to me in the comments. Did it stop playing? Did I hit the button? Chan Lee. All right, Erica, here we go. The truth that you need to speak. Queen of Swords comes out. Ooh, Erica, this is it. Ready? Where's your Aries, Erica? Do you have a lot of Aries? Because I'm telling you, if y'all did an Aries dirty, watch out. Queen of Swords is literally speak your truth. And it almost gives you the I don't know, like the permission to speak it boldly and loudly. So like there's going to be something that was done to you, something that you experienced from someone, and you need to talk about that. You need to tell people what happened to you. You need to draw hard lines, hard boundaries, and you need to enforce those boundaries. Erica says, it's my rising. Girl, tell them what they did. Tell the whole world what they did. I promise you. I've been so quiet. Like I started PLR and I was like, no, I don't want to talk about people and I don't want to be like talking bad and whatever. It's not gossiping if it's true, right? It's not gossiping if it's true. And if people didn't want me to talk about how they treated me, then they probably should have treated me better, right? All right. Erica, how to see both sides. How to see both sides. We have Queen of Wands coming out. Queen of Wands is karmic energy for one, but it could also be about your confidence. Someone could be overly confident in themselves. Someone could have been like a karmic lesson. All right, and then the new thing that your higher self wants you to try, Three of Wands. Take new action towards your future. Take new action. So stop repeating the same cycles. If like there's this thing that I would do every time I would become single that I will not be doing this time, right? So it's like, do something new, take a new route. Don't keep doing it the same old way. All right. Hope that was helpful. Oh my goodness. All right, let me see. Where were we? Oh, I didn't mean to click that one. Don't do it. Leave me be there. Do it, girl. Defend yourself loudly. Call people out on their shit. Twitch is here. 22 space. Hello, Twitch. Guys, we are multi-streaming. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time. Twitch, let me know if you want to do a reading. I don't have any moderators over there. Unfortunately. But I can see your comments. All right, so Chrissy is after Erica. So Chrissy, I'm looking for Chrissy in the comments. 22 space, I am doing readings. I'm doing Gemini reading. It should be going across your screen there. Let me know if you want me to put you on the list. There is a couple people in front of you. All right, let's put 22 space from Twitch on the list, ladies, please. I know I said list closed, but it doesn't count for Twitch. All right. Thank you, Erica. Chrissy, say hi to me in the comments. After Chrissy was Mihawk. Mihawk, did you have a question? There's something coming down the lake. I don't know if it's just a boat. I feel like it's not normal to see boats out on the lake in the dark. It could be a barge. You hear them coming like from far. Starleva! Let's add Starleva if she says she wants to do a reading. Guys, Starleva is the longest PLR member over on YouTube. I love you, Starleva. All right, I'm not seeing Chrissy. Are we seeing Chrissy? Let's skip over to Mihawk. Mihawk. No Chrissy, no Mihawk. 22 space. Here's our list if you guys are wondering where you're at on the list. If you can't see the bottom of the screen, guys, you do gotta make it bigger. I noticed that the other day. I was watching one of my lives from my phone and it doesn't show the whole screen. I was like, that stinks. Alright, I'm not seeing Chrissy or Mihawk. Wasn't Mihawk just sitting here talking some smack just a minute ago? Oh, I see Chanley. Let's ask Chanley if she wants one too. I'm gonna have to roll the windows up because of the bugs. Have mercy. 22 space says, is there any type of reading you specialize in or topic you prefer? Well, I promise you that if you were drawn to me, it's going to be for a very specific reason. So I'm having a spiritual awakening journey. It's a certain type of spiritual awakening journey. I would say that I specialize in masculine and feminine energy readings, if that makes sense. I also have like general guidance. You can ask general guidance. That's what I was going to tell Mihawk to do. So when you want to ask a question and you can't do the energy exchange, you can think of your question, and then I pull a general guidance oracle. I also have talking to heaven. So if you have like a passed on loved one, I did bring those with me as well. Star Leva wants Gemini New Moon. I'm not seeing either of those two, so let's go to 22 space on Twitch. All right, 22 space, it's your turn, so let me know. The Gemini New Moon reading that I'm giving out for free should be on your scrolling across your screen there shortly. And like I said, general guidance is a card pull, oracle pull. I'll give you any channel message I receive, and then talking to heaven. And Chanley does want to get added, so let's go ahead and put her on there. And then for real, let's just close. All right, 22 space. Let me know. Let me know which reading you are looking for. All right. Let's do Gemini New Moon. That is the reading that Spirit wants me to offer today. So, first thing I'm looking at is what truth you need to speak. What truths do you need to speak? The Hanged Man again. Sandra got the Hanged Man. Pisces energy. It could be two of Pisces, but it's saying that, again, this fear of losing something. So it's like if you communicate, then you would see maybe that you haven't lost it, or that you won't lose it. And I feel like it's a person. It's going to be a person. All right, next thing I'm looking at is how to see both sides of the situation. We see the Tower, unexpected upheaval. So both sides are experiencing unexpected upheaval. A lot of times, so what I do, it's the twin flame journey. I just don't like the label, so I don't like seeing it. But what a lot of times when this happens, what happens is two people meet, and they meet at this time in their life when they're both attached to something that's karmic, right? Something that's just literally eating the soul. So when it happens, it's this energy of like your foundation is shaken, right? Most of the time when these energies meet, the foundation is shaken so much that it completely crumbles, and then you have to rebuild everything, right? And that's your spiritual awakening. So how to see both sides is it's happening to both people, I guess, is the message there. I do see the Lovers on the bottom. That is my clue card for the twin flame journey. And now let's pull what new thing your higher self wants you to try. Ooh, Five of Swords comes out. I wonder if you were here earlier when we were talking at the beginning, all the information I gave for Gemini New Moon. If you weren't, I definitely recommend watching it, 22 Space, because Five of Swords in the Light Seers Tarot shows the what's talking about mental challenges, and it shows him holding his head. So again, Gemini New Moon is about bringing mental clarity at this time. What your higher self wants you to try that's new is stop overthinking. Stop overthinking it. Stop overthinking it. One thing I can tell you about this specific type of spiritual awakening journey, if this is the journey you're having, which most likely you are, and that's why you were drawn here, is it's always, always about the purpose and not the person, regardless of how it turns out, regardless of whether you're together, you're in separation, you get back together, you get married, you live happily ever after. It doesn't stinking matter. It doesn't matter. It is always about the purpose, which is awakening your soul so that you can get into realignment with your soul's journey. That's it. All right, I hope that was helpful. Lady Athena, welcome, welcome. I'll go ahead and add you to the bottom of the list. I keep saying we're closing lists, so let's add one more over on Twitch. Here's where our list is now. This one. Let's add her, please. I don't have any moderators over on Twitch, guys. It's just me over there, so I apologize. I know it's hard to get on the list. We are multi-streaming. We're always on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I do have moderators on both Facebook and YouTube. Thank you, 22 Space. All right. Let me go back. Star Leva, say hi to me in the comments. Star Leva, say hi to me in the comments. Y'all, I made the mistake of rolling the windows down because the breeze came and I got so excited about it. I let the bugs in. I'm sitting by the lake. All right. All right, Star Leva, the truth that you need to speak. The truth that you need to speak. First card, Three of Wands. Again, action towards your future. You need to tell somebody something that you want to do, some step that you want to take for your future. Maybe you want to move. Maybe you want to start a new job. Maybe you want to go back to school. Something like that. And it's like you need to tell people, speak up about what it is that you want to do in your life. All right, how to see both sides of the situation. We have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is an energy of deceit and trickery. Someone maybe didn't believe something, or this could be you. Like, this could be just all about you. Like, maybe you didn't believe in you. You didn't think that you could level up. Seeing both sides could have something to do with someone thinking that you took something from them or you caused something to them. All right, let's look at what your higher self, the new thing your higher self wants you to try. Star Leva. We have judgment. Judgment. Judgment is about surrendering, I also heard a message, don't be too harsh on yourself. Spirit wants you to be kinder to yourself. But there's definitely something about surrendering. All right, guys. I hope that was helpful. Starleva. Chan Lee. Chan Lee says, I'm here. Sherry says, I'm laying in my bed with the window open and the AC on. Same. I have the windows down and the AC on in the car. But it was nice. I like the breeze off the lake. It's super beautiful. It's super calming. Feels amazing. All right, Chanley. Here we go. Gemini New Moon. What's the truth that you need to speak? Ooh, two cards came out. The Knight of Wands and the Seven of Wands, but the Seven of Wands was in reverse. Courage, passion, Knight of Wands, and Seven of Wands is boundaries, healthy boundaries. You need to tell people when they're crossing your boundaries. You need to be more forcefully telling people when they're not respecting your boundaries. All right, how to see both sides. Ten of Swords comes out. Someone thinks you're going to leave. Someone is fearful that you'll leave them. That you'll close something out once and for all. All right, new thing that your higher self wants you to try. Gemini New Moon. The Moon card comes out. This is emotional release, is what I just heard. Emotional release. Releasing fear. Releasing fear. How are you with anxiety? Do you have anxiety? There's something about your faith over fear. Faith over fear. All right, I'm going to leave that there. I hope that was helpful. I know, right? I did. I whacked one of them myself, and Spirit's like, leave the bug alone. Well, the bug needs to leave me alone. Sweet. I'm glad Chandler this resonate. Thank you. All right, where are we at next? Is it Lady Athena? Last one. All right, Lady Athena on Twitch. Say hi to me in the comments. Let me know you're still here. You waited so patiently. Chanley says, I do have fear. Aw. Thank you, Chanley. All right, Lady Athena. There we go. All right, I'm assuming Gemini New Moon. She says general, please. All right, let me get the oracle. I pulled the Soul's Journey. Let's see what comes out for Lady Athena. Change is here. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. Your message is don't be scared to leave your comfort zone. Don't be scared to leave your comfort zone. You're staying somewhere. Here's the thing about the comfort zone, guys. Most of the time, and this is for everybody, most of the time, we're not really comfortable in our comfort zone. It's just what we know. Think about somebody who works at a job that's like they feel is meaningless. It's not helping them follow their purpose. They don't feel like it's their soul's journey to be doing whatever it is that they're doing, right? But they go in there every day because they are used to waking up every day and showing up to work at 8 o'clock. They're used to working Monday through Friday. They're used to collecting the same paycheck. They're used to paying the same bills. They're used to doing everything the same way. Miserable, no life, no spark, no flair, but it's the comfort zone because we know the job is there. We know the paycheck's there. You see what I'm trying to say? Don't be scared to leave your comfort zone. All right, I'm going to leave that there. I hope that was helpful. All right, guys, that's it. That's what I got. I hope everything was cool. If you missed the Gemini New Moon stuff at the beginning, please go check it out. So much helpful information, especially if you struggle to hear your spiritual guidance. Guys, we're going to talk about that all week. Spirit says that is the message. Everyone is struggling with that. I'm going to try to teach you how I learned to hear spirit. So I hope that we can get all this information out this week and that it is helpful. Wednesday, I will be back with all 12 signs. And then, of course, Friday, I'm doing a surprise pick a card. So if you guys want to join me for that, those are already posted. So you can hit that notify me button. Guys, if you're new, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe button. Make sure your notification bells are set to all those good things. Everybody, go check out my Twin Flame Shadow Work Journal. It is an instant download over on my PLR website. Link is in the description box. Guys, shadow work is key at this time. We can't run from it anymore, and we can't be scared of it anymore, right? All right, guys, I'll see everybody on Wednesday. Thank you, all my moderator ladies who came in and helped. Thank you, everyone who participated. I love you guys. I'm always sending all of you abundant love and light on your journey. Have a good night.